Hello, my dear Aquarius. You are on the channel Astrology of the Path, and today we are talking about March 2026, the month of inner choices, honesty with yourself, and quiet but deep restructuring of values. March 2026 for Aquarius is a month in which life seems to slow down the usual pace and invites you to stop. Not because something is not working out, but because it is time to hear yourself more deeply. This is not a month of external victories, nor a period when you need to urgently prove something to the world. It is a time of internal decisions that ripen quietly and without unnecessary noise. You may notice that usual goals no longer excite you as before. What used to motivate you begins to be perceived differently. Questions arise. Why am I doing this? For what purpose am I spending my energy? Is this really my path? And these questions are not accidental. March seems to lead you to a point of honest conversation with yourself. The general background of the month is associated with the themes of money, resources, self-esteem, and personal value. But it is not only about finances. It is about how you evaluate yourself as a person and how much you allow yourself to live according to your true needs. Perhaps you have long agreed to less than you deserve, or took on too much responsibility because you are used to being strong and independent. In March, this begins to be felt especially sharply. During the month, the 2nd, 6th, and 8th houses are active. This indicates that you will need to find a balance between the material side of life, everyday rhythm, and deep internal processes. For example, a person may realize that they work a lot but do not feel satisfaction, or that money comes but there is no joy from it, or that outwardly everything is stable, but inside there is constant tension and fear of losing support. The 2nd house emphasizes money and self-esteem. In March, you may begin to look differently at your income and expenses. Perhaps there will be a desire to reconsider the budget, refuse unnecessary expenses, or on the contrary, allow yourself something important and valuable. But the main point here is not numbers. The main point is the inner feeling of your own value. You may notice that when you doubt yourself, money seems to flow away. And when you feel confident, even small steps begin to bring results. The lunar eclipse on March 3 may become a turning point. In life, this can manifest differently. Someone closes an old debt. Someone gets out of financial dependence on another person. And someone simply realizes that they no longer want to live in constant anxiety about the future. Sometimes it is not about real money, but about an internal fear of being left without support. The eclipse shows where you give more than you receive, and where it is time to regain the right to rely on yourself. The 6th house raises the topic of work and health. In March, the body is especially sensitive to overloads. If you have long lived in the mode of must and should, you may feel fatigue, lower energy, or irritability. This is not a sign of weakness. It is an invitation to reconsider your rhythm. Perhaps you will understand that it is time to change your schedule, distribute tasks differently, or allow yourself rest without guilt. Even small changes in sleep, nutrition, or workload can have a noticeable effect. Work processes require practicality and calmness. March is not suitable for emergencies and a race for results. But it is perfect for putting things in order, finishing old matters, and building a healthier work system. You begin to see which actions truly support you and which only drain your energy. The 8th house is associated with crises and internal transformations. In the middle of the month, topics of trust, control, and hidden fears may arise. For example, fear of being left without money, without support, or without usual stability, or fear of losing control over the situation. March teaches to let go, not because you are weak, but because some processes cannot be held by force. The more trust, the easier the transformation goes. At the beginning of the month, on March 2, Mars enters Pisces. The energy of actions becomes softer and less direct. You may notice that the previous drive does not work, but intuition is strengthened. You better feel when it is worth acting and when to wait. It is important to save energy and not scatter yourself. Now let's go through the key dates of the month in detail. March 3, the lunar eclipse in Virgo, enhances the theme of finances and responsibilities for Aquarius. This day may bring strong internal realizations related to money, responsibility, and a sense of duty. Aquarius may feel the need to discuss important material issues, review the distribution of expenses, or honestly admit to themselves that they are tired of carrying too much. Sometimes it manifests as understanding that they are no longer ready to depend on someone else's decisions, or conversely, constantly support others at their own expense. On this day, it is important not to rush with actions. It is better to observe, record, and allow understanding to ripen. March 5, a harmonious aspect of the Sun and Jupiter brings Aquarius a sense of internal support. After the tension of the eclipse, there is a feeling that you are moving in the right direction. This may manifest through another person's words, an unexpected offer, or a simple internal relief. You may feel that even complex events fit into the overall picture and lead to something bigger than it seems at first glance. From March 6, Venus enters Aries and activates the sphere of communication and contacts. There is a desire to speak honestly and directly, without avoiding sharp corners. In relationships, there is less ambiguity and more spontaneity. There may appear a desire to express your desires, assert yourself, or revive connections that have long given no movement. It is important to maintain a balance between sincerity and respect for the feelings of others. March 7, the conjunction of the Sun and retrograde Mercury returns Aquarius to past topics. On this day, thoughts may repeatedly return to old decisions, conversations, or situations that were once left unresolved. Contacts with people from the past or internal insights about why you acted a certain way are possible. This is a day of realizations, not active steps. It is useful to review plans and draw conclusions without haste. March 8, emotional sensitivity strengthens for Aquarius. The day is filled with subtle states, inspiration, and strong feelings. There may be a desire to idealize a person or situation, to see more in them than there is. This is a wonderful time for creativity, music, and soulful conversations, but in matters of love and money, it is important to stay connected to reality and not make hasty decisions. March 9, you may feel clarity. Through a conversation, message, or received information, much becomes understandable and logical. What previously caused doubts begins to form a holistic picture. This is a good day for discussions, learning, and forming a broader view of what is happening. March 13, the conjunction of Mars and the North Node becomes a fateful point for you. On this day, a situation may arise in which it becomes clear that postponing the choice further is impossible. This may be a decision related to work, relationships, or personal direction. Tension on this day is natural, but indicates a growth zone and movement toward the future. From March 14 to 16, Aquarius may feel fatigue, irritability, and a desire to keep everything under control. Sensitivity to words and actions of others increases. On these days, it is especially important to reduce stress, not enter into disputes, and allow yourself a pause. The less pressure you put on yourself and others, the softer this period will pass. March 19, the new moon in Pisces sets new intentions for you in the theme of money and personal values. This is an internal moment when you formulate anew what is truly important for you and what you are ready to rely on further. Attitude toward resources and your own value changes. March 20 marks the beginning of the new astrological year, and Aquarius feels an internal shift. There is more energy and a desire to move forward. This feeling is not necessarily connected with abrupt actions, but inside, there is an understanding that a new stage begins. From March 21, Mercury moves to direct motion, and it becomes easier for you to negotiate, formulate thoughts, and make decisions. Topics that previously seemed confusing begin to clarify. The sense of logic and order returns. March 22, intuition strengthens. You subtly feel the mood of people and your own states. This is a day when it is useful to slow down, be in silence, and listen to your inner voice. Practical matters are better solved without haste. March 25, the conjunction of the Sun and Saturn brings Aquarius maturity and clarity. You clearly understand where your boundaries are and what you are truly ready to take responsibility for. This is a day of decisions based not on emotions, but on inner stability. March 30, Venus enters Taurus, and by the end of the month, Aquarius feels the return of stability. The need for comfort, bodily well-being, and simple joys of life strengthens. Relationships become calmer and more reliable, and the inner state more grounded. Let us summarize what March 2026 means for Aquarius. This month is a time of pause, listening to yourself, and internal restructuring. Outwardly, events may seem calm, but inside, you are going through an important process of reassessing values, decisions, and your attitude toward your own life. March is a period when the main thing is not speed and abrupt actions, but honesty with yourself and awareness in every step. The beginning of the month emphasizes finances, responsibility, and self-esteem. You begin to see more clearly where you take on too much, and where it is time to stop sacrificing your own interests for others' expectations. This period is more about internal realizations than abrupt decisions. Throughout the month, old thoughts, conversations, or situations may return. This is not moving backward, but a necessary pause for reflection. March teaches Aquarius not to rush with decisions and not to act from inner tension. Many answers come gradually through words, events, or quiet internal insights. In relationships, it is especially important to speak sincerely, but tactfully. The month helps to gently outline personal boundaries, name your desires, and understand which connections truly support you and which only drain your energy. The superficial loses significance, and deep and reliable relationships become a true support. By the end of March, you feel more clarity and inner stability. There is a sense of direction, an inner core, and an understanding of what you are ready to rely on further in finances, relationships, and your own decisions. March 2026 for Aquarius is a month of quiet strength and maturity, without sharp twists, but with important internal alignment that will become a reliable foundation for further movement forward. On the channel Astrology of the Path, I am glad to be with you to help better understand the energies of the month and find inner support. I hope our forecast has been useful and inspiring for you. Share your impressions and thoughts in the comments. Your experience is important and can support other Aquarians. I look forward to seeing you in the next episodes of the channel, to analyze new events together and observe how planetary energies influence your life. Subscribe to the channel Astrology of the Path so as not to miss fresh forecasts and advice. May March bring you clarity, confidence, and calm. And may each new day open opportunities for growth, harmony, and inner balance.